Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society.
Thank you.
My name is Dan Leonard.
Hi, Dan.
And joining me this week in the studio is Jess Evans.
Hello.
Heather Strait.
Hi there.
And Mr. Jeff Williams.
That is my name, and you can wear it out.
Mark that RSVP, maybe. Our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Mark that flattered, but not sure how to respond.
Yeah, there you go.
Flattered but awkward.
Our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Well, it's middle of October, which means our brains are still in spooky mode, and this week's topic is scary. Literally. The whole topic. It's a real think piece, I guess. We've each come up with a list of things which are A, scary or spooky, B, related to the Disney theme parks and resorts, and C, interesting.
Let our listeners judge that.
Here we go. In no particular order, who wants to go first? I'll go first.
Go first, Dan.
Jeff can go. A lot of the things I thought of aren't necessarily like slasher movies, scary or something, but there's a lot of places around the parks that build a spooky atmosphere in different ways. And there are a lot of underlit areas in the park that get a little creepy, spooky in places.
You're scared of the dark.
Well, no, but there's a lot of places that I get what they go for, where they're contrasting the brightly lit exteriors of the shops or the entrances to rides, and so they don't overlight the rest of the places. But there's some places back in Frontierland, especially Disneyland, like back around Big Thunder. At night, it's bright back there. I'm also thinking like Epcot around the snack outpost Africa place.
Oh yeah.
And also
At night that does get dark.
it gets dark there, and it's not, people aren't hanging out there because they're not selling Coke at that point. Or even in Epcot, like back in England, because there's only people near the Rose and Crown at night, and it's lit, but it's not really brightly lit. And so if you go back into that pavilion, it's a little quiet and underlit and spooky. I could come up with more examples, but there's just a lot of places where I'm surprised that there's not more lighting going on. And
the whole Liberty Square area at Magic Kingdom's all just a little bit dark and creepy and sinister, only because it's old. And the lantern tree thing. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most
not
of the way
overtly
back
scary, just like a good creep factor.
Yeah.
Plus the Hall of Presidents is right there.
It's terrifying.
Right. Adventureland headed towards Jungle Cruise is another spot where it's lit down there right at the ride, but it's kind of, I don't know, it feels, I remember going back there to see if it was open during a Halloween party a few years ago, and it was a little foggy, it was a little creepy, it was good.
I always thought it was because I have bad night vision, but yeah, it's very dark in the parks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not at the parks during the evening as much I should because the lighting effects and all are really cool, or the lack of effects sometimes.
I remember the first time that we were on a trip and my son was old enough finally to be up past dark and be in the parks. And he was like mesmerized by like how lit up like Main Street was and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like a whole different side of things that, especially when you're like new parents and you're bringing your kids and they're not old enough to make it that far. And now we go to the parties and stuff, and it's some of our favorite time to be there. Like we'll take a really long break just so we can stay late in the park. Yeah, it's nice.
There's nothing really cooler than walking out of an empty park if you've had a reservation that ran late long after the park, like at Oga's or something, and everything's just by itself. You're like, wow,
after the park,
really, that's a creep factor in itself.
Yeah.
So Hollywood.
Well, are you done? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say Hollywood Boulevard when you're the only person on it is.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Mine is a more overtly scary thing, and it's just my favorite thing in the world, is in Tough to Be a Bug. When the lights go out and all hell breaks loose when Hopper and the boys show up, and every kid in there, I just feed on their fear. I'm like such a gross fear vampire, but I love that so much when they're all just terrified. And I like kind of looking around and picking out which kid I'm going to watch freak out when I know it happens. So good. That's just such a great effect. It's like such a fun kind of show until that moment. And then it just takes a turn that I just love. And the kids never come back from it. They're sobbing the rest of the time. And then at the end, when there's the butt tickling bugs that come across your seat.
There's like a level of hatred for that ride there was for Stitch's Great Escape. I am surprised that that attraction is still going.
I love it. I've always loved it. It's so good. And I think these are thrill rides or what it's supposed to be scary. That's okay. I don't know. They even warn you outside it's going to be, and then the parents still get so mad that their little darling got scared. But I love it.
I've still never seen the show. I need to see it finally.
Oh, it's so good.
I love, and something that actually does creep me out is the Tower of Terror at Disneyland Paris. When you're down you're supposed to be in like the bowels of the boardroom or whatever.
Okay,
boiler room, boardroom. Boardrooms can be really scary too. Yeah. But if you stop talking to your companions long enough, you can hear voices from inside the walls in there. And it's the people who were zapped into the Twilight Zone. Yeah. And there's one point where like the little girl is going, Mommy, Mom, it's terrifying. And it's
the dead children part is the scariest.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They didn't do that at the 2 United States ones.
But it's good there.
Yeah.
It really is. And it just kind of it's all haunted. Like,
yes.
You're like, well, hold up.
What was that? I also am terrified of being trapped in an elevator and having an elevator snap and plummet. So that helps. That environment helps for me.
But do you ride the ride a lot?
I do. Yeah, I didn't for a really long time. I think it's fun and I love it, but I'm actually a little more scared by real elevators than the attraction.
Trust the Imagineers more than real engineers.
Exactly. Well, I have been stuck in an elevator twice, so that
those rides are inspected and all that. No one looks at an elevator until it's broken.
Yeah,
that's true.
I have actually had to pick up that phone and call for help. And in Boston, I got evacuated from an old hotel elevator by the fire department. So that wasn't fun. Yeah. They just pry the doors open and help you climb out.
Did you establish a poo corner right away?
Step one. That's always the first step.
Well, I was by myself in the elevator.
I also do that on Tower of Terror.
So what you're saying is the entire box was just, the world was your oyster.
That's right.
It wasn't so much poo corner as
shitting everywhere.
Exactly.
The litter box.
Yeah, gross.
The falling litter box.
Well, I can come up with something a lot scarier than that.
Oh, no.
Bob Chapek's beard.
You know what? I thought about putting that on my list.
No, all right. No, I'm just kidding. That's not my true pick.
It's humanized.
But my real pick, though, I will say is Port Orleans French Quarter Resort. Especially I'm somebody that I have fractured sleep. So I sleep about 3 to 4 hours a night. I never sleep past 3 a.m. usually. I just wake up and I'm up and going. So on our trips, I have to find something to do while my family sleeps until we get up and go to the parks. And I explore the resort that we're at and take photos and things like that. And if it's foggy or cold or anything like that, French Quarter is perfect. They've got lots of fountains everywhere. It has that New Orleans theme, like we were talking about New Orleans being spooky to begin with. And yeah, and then the decor, all of the weird Mardi Gras statues and float pieces are super creepy too. So I love the ambiance.
Yeah,
it's a good place to stay for Halloween.
About last time, just New Orleans is a real creep fest on its own, and anything's modeled after that.
It's like a little miniature one, basically.
The lighting is all weird around there too. It's dark except for the little street lights, and they're like the old New Orleans lamp lights.
Yeah.
I only stayed there just recently, and we came back from wherever we had been at night, and I was like, it's a little creepy around here.
I like it.
Another resort that creeps me out at night is actually if you're there when it's not super busy and it's late at night, the poly grounds are a little...
Oh, yeah.
They're a little spooky. They're very quiet. And there's the flickering because the lanterns and the torches. So you've got the flickering light going on.
Yeah, it changes shadows and stuff.
Yeah, you're very aware of the presence of alligators nearby.
Oh,
that doesn't help.
That.
But there's just something about the secluded Polynesian island. It's beautiful paradise at day, but in the dark of night, when it's quiet, it's a little unnerving what's lurking.
Plus, you might get thrown into a volcano as a sacrifice.
Exactly.
That is terrifying.
And there's no coming back from that.
No.
Not unless you're Joe versus Volcano.
Yeah, another kind of walking around Wilderness Lodge, the outdoor parts of Wilderness Lodge is a little creepy. Most of it is indoor, but when you're walking outside, it definitely can be creepy. We've stayed in those cabins before. We have to walk a long way outside, and there's all of the nature sounds. We've seen snakes and lots of rabbits and things. There's always just creatures moving about, and so many frogs. It's obscene.
There are a lot of frogs.
How many?
Nothing else back there sometimes. It's just frogs and snakes.
No people.
That's one of the few places on property that I know there are snakes everywhere. It's Florida, but that's one of the few places on property that I have seen an actual snake. And Jeff almost stepped on it.
Yeah. I've seen snakes a couple of times at Pop Century.
Okay, that's terrifying.
I've seen little ones. Yeah, I've seen little tiny ones out there.
Hate a snake.
Yeah, this was a pretty good sized one. But this was in the food court. So no big
Ew.
It was in the pasta.
Gross. An attraction that freaked me out was, have y'all ever ridden Space Mountain during the Halloween party when it's the blackout?
No, I want to.
It's great, but it is scary. You think in there that it's already really dark and you don't see much, but when they turn off what little light is in there, it's terrifying.
And they put in like scary sound effects too, right?
They changed the whole soundtrack. It's just
like,
yes.
Yeah, I would love that.
It's scary. And they did, I never got to write it, but they did that. Tower of Terror was still Tower of Terror out at Disneyland.
They did that while they were working on it, so they could keep the shaft open and run rides through it, but they blacked it out so you couldn't see where. I like to keep my shaft wide open.
That's scary to me. First time I stayed off of the Tower of Terror for most of my life because I was scared of crashing to my death in an elevator. So I wouldn't do it. The first time I rode it was Guardians of when it had been changed over to Guardians of Galaxy Mission Breakout. And there's a pretty epic photo of me the first time I was forced onto that ride. And then the second time I rode it, my demeanor completely changed because it's so fun. And now I ride Tower of Terror all the time. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite feelings.
Photo of her. What, the falling feeling?
The falling feeling on that ride is one of my absolute favorite.
I do love it now.
Feelings in the world. I love it. I'm like, you could theme this to anything you want as long as it'll just go up and down a real bunch really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy.
I hated it and it felt terrible and it scared me, but then I don't even remember who finally told me just to relax and that was all that tensing up.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to let yourself basically kind of float.
Feel weightless, and I just adore it now.
Yeah,
Me
I can't
too.
do it. Like I've ridden Tower of Terror or Guardians a couple of times in a row. Beyond 2 or 3, though, I cannot. It starts to get my stomach.
Oh yeah,
roiling. That can be terrifying. Being in the parks with an upset stomach and not knowing where the nearest bathroom is.
I've had food poisoning at the parks, and that was a nightmare. Yeah,
that is scary, y'all. That's
that has
true
to do
fear.
with one of my scariest things.
Oh yeah,
it was the food court at the Coronado Springs Resort.
The shrimp salad. Oh no!
Don't eat seafood at a theme park. Or at least
it was late at night too. I got I got a salad trio. It was chicken salad, tuna salad, and shrimp salad.
Oh no!
I was like, I'll have something lighter. I've been overeating. And it was like these little scoops of each of these things, and I didn't hardly make it back to the room from the food court.
Seafood plus mayonnaise.
No.
That kicked in, yeah. That was unsavory. So I missed a whole day and a half at the parks.
That is terrifying.
Did you have were you in the middle of a fever dream like the beginning of Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
No, we were walking back the family because we hung out in the food court for a while. My parents were with us on this trip. Then they went to bed and we stayed up and had a drink. And as we were walking back, I was like, "Oh, my stomach is just starting to rebel from all this eating." No,
it was the shrimp salad.
So that was like a horror fest for my family too, because I was engaged from both sides the whole night.
Oh no!
Fire in the hole.
Battle.
Yep, that's scary.
All right, I have a scary thing that's being phased out, sadly, but I've always been a fan of the creepy characters. More specifically, the failure of Disney to create any characters that are human and not use like a human face in the past.
Oh yeah,
Bo Peep,
like Bo Peep.
The fairy godmother, I think, is probably the worst offender of that one.
That one was really
in Japan.
bad.
She looks really scary.
It's like one of those. Yeah, it's like a
porcelain mask almost. It's yeah. And like the old Toy Story characters looked really bad. Like Buzz Lightyear looked like a sex offender.
Doc McStuffins.
That's because his Woody was showing.
Oof.
But yeah, they're getting away from that. And then if you go back far enough, basically Mickey looked like a goddamn nightmare in the 50s.
He was a nightmare.
You look at Halloween costumes. You look at Halloween costumes and costumes like that from the 50s, and you go like, why did no one find any of this stuff?
What were they doing?
I think they did. I think the point used to be that you were scaring away the ghosts. So everything.
It's like I saw like an old like 1950s photo of like, a bunch of kids going trick or treating, and like all of them look like murder clowns. And I just, I was like,
I think I've seen that one.
I love that so much.
There's just not one kid crying in a corner, because that would have been me. Like I would not have been able to deal with that.
Did you ever see the movie The Strangers when?
Yeah.
Just people with sack over their head were standing outside. It all looked like that. When Bo Peep came out, that right after Toy Story 3 or whichever one she showed up in, and they started having her at the parks, it looked like something out of The Purge.
Yeah. Just the eyes.
That's
and the weird vinyl sleeves that they have.
The fake skin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's scary.
And what do you got?
Okay, so for spooky atmosphere, and I've got 2 attractions that like really build up the tension over a period of time. And the first one is that final lift hill on Splash Mountain. And you're just going up and those buzzers are talking at you, and the music, the build, the swell of that music. And they just do such a good job of really building you up to that drop that even if you've done it before and you know that it's not that bad, you know what it is, you're just, oh shit, what's coming?
And it's such like a 180 from what you've been experiencing on the ride. It's a happy place. Now you're going to die.
The buzzards are already preparing you for death.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That one killed me when I was a kid. It was so scary. I would do it, but my grandfather had to force me every time.
But then the actual terrifying ride has been gone from the Magic Kingdom for years, and it's when it was
extraterrestrial.
Oh, that ride was so awesome!
That was
I love
terrifying. It was great though.
I missed it.
So sad. I never got
this
to
much.
enjoy
The
this.
one time I went,
it was as close to the sun of like exciting, like scary entertainment that Disney's ever going to come.
Yes.
I think like we're never going to get that close again. It was so well done. They had
So
blood
well
effects.
done.
and it was toned down.
And
They
alien
opened it and then closed
breathing
it.
down your neck.
I'm pretty sure I got the untoned down version when I wrote it, because I wrote it once and it was goddamn terrifying, and I loved
scary.
it. Yeah.
Wasn't there something that like felt like blood was squirting on you?
Yeah, that was the thing. There were guys up above that were trying to help you escape, and they kept showing video screens of them working in the ceiling above you. And then at some point in the video that the alien attacks them, and you hear them being eaten, and they spray water on you in the dark. So you think you're getting blood and spit from the alien. It was, that was when
so
they got
good.
me. I was like, this is perfect.
Because like, yes, the Stitch version is dumb, but it terrified little kids because it's just they can't see what's going on. So if that was like an actual
the
terrifying
speakers, they're like in your ears. And
my uncle took my 4-year-old cousin on Alien Encounter on our family trip to Disney World. And
Kendra was on that also with them. And from what I understand, she did not go on the attraction.
Does your wife know her uncle?
Yeah.
Weird.
Kendra and Allie, who were tweens, refused to get on anything else after that ride because
that was the first ride.
Yes.
Go on, kids. Disney World.
And my uncle, he loves the Alien movie, so that was the one thing at all of Disney World that he was excited to go on, and he took all of his kids, including our little cousin who was 4 years old, and I could hear him. The blood-curdling screams in the pitch dark. And Kendra doesn't scream, and she was next to me, and I broke my hand because she was so scared, and then would not get on any other rides the whole time.
Little Candy.
Yeah.
She was like 10.
She was probably 10 or 11, right?
So who was the 4-year-old? A cousin?
A cousin, yes.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That was a mistake. And there were cast members trying to convince him not to bring Samuel on the ride, but he did it.
Paying for that therapy for a while, I'm sure.
Yeah, luckily he didn't bring the 2-year-old on. She stayed out with my aunt.
That's literally enough that they might forget. 4? That's a core memory formed right there.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry about that.
My parents took my middle brother to see The Exorcist when he was 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
He didn't like it.
Everybody knows when they're that young.
You didn't.
Everybody knows when you're that young, you go with Exorcist 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Just tell them what happened in the first one. Super scary, super spooky. I know he's beloved, but Josh D'Amaro's eyes.
Yeah,
he's smiling. It looks like he's thinking about how he's going to cook you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I get that. It's a story I always tell. If you look at someone's eyes, and if they're two sides of white, like white on the left and right of your eye, that's normal. If there's 3 sides white, that's a little alarming. If Josh tomorrow you have 4 sides white, you better run.
Huh. I never noticed that
he's got a heavy brow and a very intense set of eyes. I could get lost in him though.
He's got Tom Cruise energy where it's too much. You're like, I'm attracted to this, but it's a little too much.
Yeah. A little too much on the couch jumping.
That's fair.
What if you've got Clint Eastwood eyes and you've only got like about 1.5 sides white?
No, that's okay.
1.25.
Well, then you're getting into my pants. Sorry, what? What are we talking about here?
What was that?
Disney parks. Yes, Disney parks.
I think a genuine scare, it's more like thrilling scare, but the first time you get to the top of Everest, if you've never ridden it before and you get up there and the track's broken and all that, and you think,
oh no, what's going to happen?
There is a fleeting moment there that's just like, oh no, because I hate backwards parts on roller coasters. I'll do them, but I don't like them. The reverse G's feel wrong to me.
Yeah.
But also a broken track on a roller coaster, since that movie, The Fury, has just been a concern of mine.
Okay. So, yeah, I could see that.
I don't care for that. But the first time you get, because you think, oh, this is going to be the scary part. But no, that's not. Because you're climbing thinking this is going to be it. Then you go through and you're like, oh, this is lame. And then it goes up to a dead end up there. That's just so good and so scary. And I love watching people that haven't ridden it go through that. Apparently, I just love watching people be scared.
It sounds like you like to scare people, watch them be scared.
Yeah, weird.
Never knew that about you.
Maybe you've missed your calling in life.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the first time I had been on a roller coaster that went backwards like that. And that was a little tense when I knew that I was going to come up to the broken tracks, but waiting for the being released backwards and then going through that for the first time was...
Yeah, and you don't know if you're just going to fall straight backwards for a long time, like the thing you just climbed, or what's going to happen. Yeah, that's a great... And they hang you there long enough to make you worry about it.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, we mentioned them last episode, but a well-known spooky part of Walt Disney World Resort, the nanny chairs at the boardwalk.
Yeah, I didn't know those were... What does that mean, the nanny chair?
I think they were chairs for...
They're meant to scare kids.
Chairs for kids, and they're meant to look like some sort of demented nanny from a Blumhouse film. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Or if you're bad, you have to go sit in that chair.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but they all look like they're slowly eating your soul.
Or not so slowly.
Oh, God, I just Googled nanny chair. Ooh, and they're a thing. Like, not to...
I've never heard that term till last week when
it's like an old turn of the century thing.
It's weird.
A lot of the stuff at Boardwalk is spooky.
That whole weird kind of era of...
Yeah.
What is that, Victorian, I guess, that it's supposed to be? That whole era is a little...
Yeah.
Like what's funny is if you put in clowns and that kind of thing.
They're seats from carousels. The nanny would sit on that while the kid sat on the horse.
Oh, but why must they be terrifying?
To fit in with the weird, creepy circus atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
they're
that's
like clowns eating your butt.
What?
Which was actually the first porn I saw.
It's just...
That was my favorite house at Universal Halloween Horror.
Oh, man.
Clowns eating your butt house.
Yeah, after 6 hours, I had to leave.
So you're telling me I can't buy a lightning pass just for this?
Yeah. Have you seen the length of the lines? Get to the back. The finale of Tiki Room, when they're the Hawaiian War Chant, when they start going and the tiki start going, and then the storm starts slowly building and building. It's not scary, but it's a very tense atmosphere.
I think we had a very different childhood.
No, it's again that whole the kind of...
I do love that part. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's that kind of, I don't know. It's the spooky, scary magic side of the Tiki Polynesian thing.
It's like the volcano fear over at the Poly.
Yeah. It's like building up to throwing someone into the volcano. You see a scene in the movie, and everybody's chanting and playing the drums, and it's going to take 10 minutes in the movie for them to walk up, and the drums get faster and louder and faster and louder. Exactly. Yeah. It's that kind of, it's that tension building.
I like it. Yeah.
People always think that dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom is scary. And I get the one part maybe is scary, but its counterpart out at Disneyland is genuinely scary. The whole Indiana Jones ride has some really cool, scary, moody set pieces and the effects in the dark when there's either bugs on you or the dark's coming at you. And it's really awesome. Got some good spooky, atmospheric fun in there.
The scariest part of that is the constipated Harrison Ford at the end animatronic. That if you're stuck on it, like
Jess and Heather
for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it was right at a part where he was starting to say something. He did look like he was yeah,
just 20 minutes ago, and he looks sweaty. It's just
yeah.
The cool part is that animatronic, they made it way back. That was what, the mid-late 90s that they built that ride. Yeah. It's an accurate portrayal of what Harrison Ford looks like these days.
It's true. Good point.
Just a constipated old grump.
A little sweaty, a little straining himself.
Get off my John.
That robot's crashed far less things, though. So
that's true.
I love that ride. The whole, when you're launching and the whatever that God face thing is, and that's excellent.
Yeah, that's really well done.
Anything else?
The only spooky thing I had left on my list was the smell of the water coming out of the sinks at Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
And especially like when you're walking between Contemporary and the front of Magic Kingdom, when you get to the road that you have to cross there, that's the stinkiest place in Walt Disney World for some reason. It smells like sulfur.
I can tell you the two stinkiest places in Disneyland. One is right when you enter Adventureland, and there's a bathroom right there.
Yeah,
right in front of you, just a little to the right. That whole area just smells like that bathroom. And then another genuinely good, creepy place, which is back in New Orleans Square, where that dead ends, and there's a combination bathroom and the train smells.
Yeah,
ooh, it's bad.
We talked about that.
And
on
that's where
episode.
the line. That's where the line is for the. What are those donut things everyone knows?
Oh, the beignets, yeah.
Beignet. The beignet line is right there. They smell like funnel cake and poop and diesel fuel.
Yuck.
It's just like being at a county fair.
Yeah, exactly. It smells like the generator that's running the merry-go-round.
Yuck.
It's a genuine experience.
Yum.
Thanks for hanging out. Oh,
no, go ahead.
If you'd like to go smell something.
Yeah, I was going to say, that whole New Orleans Square area is awesome. Not just the part right in front of Haunted Mansion, but the whole area is beautifully themed and genuinely creepy.
I wish it were bigger. Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited for some not-so-scary fun at Walt Disney World, or to explore anywhere else around the world, Key to the World Travel does a lot of worlds in one sentence. Key to the World Travel has a gigantic 2,700-pound jack-o'-lantern full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with a no-obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globetrotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and so much. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest updates at www.goldkeyadventures.com. Can't wait to hang out with you again next week, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you for the privilege of your time.
And the spookiest thing ever is that Flo's is still open.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe, or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.